Hey guys, wagwan, it's your girl Kush Tracy. Otherwise, my real name is Teresia Ndoti Wambua, and I'm 28 years old currently. And what am I? What am I? I think it's a very interesting question. I started out as a musician, turned out to be a media personality, and after that, I got into, being a charitable human being. Hence, I became a humanitarian, and right now, I'm currently pursuing how do I call it? I'm doing a lot of high school missions, so I'm more of I've become a mentor to a lot of youngings, and I tend to go to a lot of schools and interact with a lot of students and motivate, inspire them, and speak to them. So quite a number of things, yes. And yes, I do love fashion, I love style, and into beauty as well. But yeah, I'm a girl who does a lot of things, but yes. So I'm Kush Tracy, and Kush Tracy, the brand Kush Tracy began in 2012 after I left high school in 2011. So when I started pursuing music, and initially that wasn't the plan. I honestly wanted to become not a musician, sorry. I wanted to become a pilot or an engineer, and I was called to JKUAT to do electrical and electronics engineering. But due to unavoidable circumstances, which I believe they could have been avoidable, but hey, cine life, I wasn't able to go to school. So I got admitted, but the lack of fees made that dream impossible. So I ended up joining KU, pursuing theater and film, and in between that, I started doing music. And so by the time it was getting to around 2014, I did like around 23 songs. By the time I did this song that became a hit and got me in the mainstream platform, that was around 2014. So yeah, that is when now Kush Tracy became Kush Tracy. Initially I was calling myself Kush, but it was kind of weird because Kush is bangy according to a lot of people, but the reality is my name doesn't come from weed. My name comes from a time when I was very young. I was a baby. If y'all remember dungarees, I used to have a yellow dungaree which was written Kush Kush, and I wanted to wear it every day when I left school. Not even school, like nursery. I was very young. So the fact that it was yellow, I think that is what excited me. How cumbersome of me. But yes. So that's how my parents started calling me Kush Kush. I respond. When they call me Teresia, I don't respond. So Kush Kush stuck, but eventually they dropped one Kush. It remained one Kush. And Tracy came in when I was in primary school. I was in a Christian missionary school. So, when I went, it was a private school. So when I went to the school, a lot of kids used to have very, posh names, Watoto Kanairo and all of that. But now mine was like Teresia. So my mom was like, no, I'll start calling you Tracy. Then she wrote on all my books, Tracy Ndoti, Tracy Ndoti. Hence, Tracy was born in primary school. So just calling myself Kush Tracy is basically me calling myself just the two names that have been my names for the longest time. And yeah, Kush Tracy was born in 2014 in the music industry. And before I went solo, I was in a group. I did like two groups. One group was for ladies. We were 4 ladies, but women, drama, people coming from different backgrounds. I was the youngest. So we really weren't, in sync musically, and whatever we wanted to do was very different. So I think also misplaced priorities, because some of the ladies already were from Nairobi and they were very exposed as compared to someone like me mwenye ametoka Embu. So it's a whole different thing, yeah. And I left the group. I joined a boys group. There were 2 guys and me. So I was the only femc in the group, and most of the time, ya Mungu mengi. Most of the time I used to do like the last verse in like most of our songs. So even in like when the music was being played in clubs, because I was a secular artist, my verse haikuange inafikiwa. Unaget? So by the time I went solo, I thank God, it was 23 songs. The 24th one was in Dandia. Then it became a hit, and that's how I got into the mainstream industry. And after that, I did a lot of songs. I did a few collabs. I've been a solo artist for the longest time, and in 2017, I won an award, Pulse Music Video of the Year. So that was my first music awards, and it's very amazing because I didn't think I'd win it. I was very sure the other ladies in the category will take it. Once I was sure between 2 of them, because I was like, hey, these ones, they're a big deal. They've been here the longest. They, the connects they have and all of that. And I thank God. So that was an amazing surprise. So the PMVAs were amazing. So they were good. It was a good thing for me. So I'm grateful and I thank God for that opportunity and for the win, of course. Then what else? So after PMVA's music, that was 2017. In 2018, I went for a particular interview, and I was going to promote one of my songs. It was called Mtajua Mjui. It was a hip hop song, and I went to a TV station that was in those sides for Lavington, and the lady was hosting on the show. Apparently, she marked me, so it's very interesting. Now I'm telling you the story of how I got into media. She just loved my vibe, my personality, the way we interacted, and she was like, okay, sawa. So a few months down the line, she gave me a call and she was like, hi, my name is Mr. Mima, and we are starting a TV show, and I just loved your energy and your vibe. There's something about you. I'd want you to come and try out in the auditions. So the day we went for auditions, I was like, initially I didn't want to go for the auditions because you see, you're used being an artist, you're used to being the one who's being interviewed, but now you're being told to be the interviewer, so it's a whole different thing. And I was like, I don't think I can do it, but she really believed in me. So I went, and the interesting thing is I got to sit with some people who had actually interviewed me back in 2014 when I did my first hit song. They interviewed me in the different media spaces they were in. So I was like, wow, such is life. But yeah, so good news is I did get the job, and I became a host on the show called Chat Spot. So it was a very interesting experience for me. I say the 3 years were, it was like a roller coaster. And then you see the fact that I was on social media, and you're also known because you've been a musician, you've done a lot of shows, you've toured and all of that. I find the 3 years were really amazing, in all honesty, because I got saved on ChatSpot. I backslid on ChatSpot, and I got back to Christ on ChatSpot. And the funniest thing is, when I look back right now, I'm like, it was a roller coaster of a lot of things, and it was season after season. And you see, if you are on that platform, you don't get to have like an off day where you can go and experience the changes, the transformation, but everything is happening live on live TV. So that was quite interesting. But I thank God for the seasons and for everything I got to learn, being a TV host. And it was just amazing because within the 3 years, I got 2 nominations in 2 separate years. And actually, I think they were following each other. One was in 2020 during COVID. I didn't even know. So I had been nominated under TV Star of the Year, and that was humbling because the people on that list, I was like, God, it's not even a matter of winning, but the fact that my name is here, is a big God. And the other one was Kalasha in I think that was 2019. So it's humbling because even both nominations I was not even aware. So it was my fans were sending me the whatevers. Then I'm like thinking, these people are creating these things and they're sending me the posters. Until people were like, Kush, no, you've actually been nominated. So I actually knew a month after the nominations were out, So that was very interesting. So it wasn't even about the win, but the fact that people out there saw what I was doing and believed in me, and they saw that I was capable of being on that list. So that means there's something bigger than what I see even in myself. So that was very interesting. But I thank God for the season. I didn't win, but I'm grateful for the nominations. They really gave me a different perspective of what I'm capable of doing. Because sometimes you see, as people, we tend to downplay what we are capable of doing, and most of the times we don't think we are capable of doing more, so we hold back. But when people see something in you, I think it's also good and great if someone decides to pursue it and try to figure out why are these people seeing me like this. So that was also a challenge. And so I did TV for 3 years. Within the 3 years, I got to host 3 shows. I did the talk show, yes, Chat Spot. I did another show, which was a reggae show called Vibes Yard. That was also amazing. I got to interview some of the, most and the biggest, reggae dancehall artists all over the world. That was interesting. And apart from that, I got also host The Lighthouse, although I did 1 episode, but that was the last time I was hosting on Switch TV. Before now, it moved from mainstream to digital. So it's been an amazing season, 3 years, a lot of lessons and a lot of growth as a person. And I just thank God for it. So yeah, that's what I can say. What is success? That's the question I tend to ask most of them. I'm like, what is success? Is it the money? Is it the good pictures which people are able to post? Is it you get opportunities? Is it what you do? Like, what is success? And I started asking myself as Kush Tracy, Kush, what is success to you? And I had to sit myself down and analyze every belief, every thought I had, every mindset which I had of what success looked like. Because before, for me, success was money. It was just, as long as you have money, you're successful. But then I came to realize money is not everything. You see, there are a lot of people who have money, but they lack wisdom and they lack happiness and real joy. So all the time, the only thing you can use to be able to interact with people, to have a relationship with people, is your money. But apart from money, you have nothing else to offer. So it's very sad, because all the times I had the escapades, going to clubs, partying and all of that, I met so many rich people, and all they could do is, pop bottles, buy champagne and, all the expensive alcohol. Then there's this cycle of, you're changing women every day and all of that. So when you look at it, you're like, money doesn't equate happiness and success, because success is not basically what you can afford. It's good. It's a blessing to be able to afford everything that you want in life. But I don't equate success to money, because in my life, I think for now I can say I'm successful at becoming a better version of me. That was the biggest fight and the biggest investment I had to make for myself. And changing to become this person, because it's easy to be mediocre. It's easy to do everything everyone is doing. And for me, money is not success. Even what I have doesn't equate to me being successful. But it's more of, what have I been able to overcome? That's real success. Am I really happy as a person? That is real success. Because I see a lot of people are struggling to become successful, but if you ask them, all they want is money. Someone is like, I just need money and I'll become successful. But some people are in misery and they have all of that money. So I find it very interesting, but I tell people to be very considerate about the things they consider as success. Stopping an addiction is success. Because you see, it's something you have to struggle with until you overcome and you break the addiction. That's success. Changing to become a better you, that is success in itself. So it's not always about money, having millions in your account. No, I think we need to have a different mindset when it comes to success. So to get to where I am, I've had to do a lot of, soul searching, a lot of, personal development course and all of that. Like, I've had to really dig deep to become this person. And because you see, all along I've been structured a particular way. Like, I've been in a system, I've had patterns and cycles for the longest time. So to break out of those cycles to become this other version of me, the version of me that I've always seen, and I was just afraid of stepping out and becoming her. Because you see, when you want to become great and become better, that means there are things you cannot afford to continue doing. There are relationships you cannot continue keeping. There are choices you need to make different. There are spaces and places you need to stop going to. There are things you need to stop associating with. And that's the hardest thing. It's easy to be mediocre, like I said. But when it comes to mentors, I do have different mentors, and from all over the world, different people. And to me, it's because they challenge what I know, they challenge who I am. And the most important thing about mentors is you need to have someone who's guiding you towards the direction you're trying to go to. Someone who's walked the path, someone who understands the challenges, someone who's already experienced it. So you don't call a mentor just anyone that you idolize, in terms of, because I find a lot of people refer to celebrities as mentors, but I'm like, what are they mentoring you to? Like, what exactly? Why are they your mentor? Because your mentor has to be someone who helps you challenge yourself to grow, to become a better person, to grow, to stop doing the nonsense you're doing and become this other version of you that you can become. So mentors are very important, but make sure you have the right mentors. And your mentors don't have to be physical people that you know or people that you always meet at any time. They could be actually different people from different countries you've never met, but you followed their life, you followed what they've been doing, you listen to what they say, and you try to take what can help you as a person. So mentors are quite important. That one is for sure. Right now I get to go to a lot of schools in missions. And when I say missions, it's basically going to speak to students. Because you see, as celebrities, like I said, I used to be a secular artist before I got born again. And being a celebrity, a lot of these youngins, they do the things we tell them to do. They do the things they see us doing. But like I said, if you want to become a better version of yourself or live in your full purpose, you have to actually walk very close with God. God is the only person who can make you discover your purpose. And if you want to have an intentional life, that means you question everything, the why behind everything that you're doing. So when I started questioning the why, I was like, okay, you have a lot of followers on social media. You have influence. You have young people are listening to you. Okay. So when you're doing secular music, you're telling them, smoke, drink, be sexually immoral, and it's okay, that's the mentality we're selling. But you see, at the end of the day, me, I'm making money doing that, but there's someone who's getting into that, and then they're not even able to recover and get back to themselves. Some people are getting into that which I'm influencing and standing for. And these kids, the funniest and not even funniest, the saddest thing is, they become a product of the choices we make, the selfishness that we have. So for me, I had to sit myself down and be like, Kush, you cannot afford to be selfish. This life is too short. And everything that you're doing, because if I say something, smoking is okay, smoking weed is fine, then someone in high school decides to smoke weed, then they smoke the weed that makes them go mad. Like, whichever way we might look at it, it's all fun and games until it hits home. It's very sad, the number of students who are already using drugs. So can you imagine someone is already using drugs from primary school to high school? By the time they're getting to campus, will they make it through campus? Are they going to make it even after campus outside here? So it's very sad. And I think for me, the turning point was when I started to realize whatever I put out there doesn't only, it's selfish of me to think it should be just for my gain. You get what I'm saying? But whatever I put out there, a lot of people are looking at it, and a lot of youngins, they are doing the same thing that I'm saying that is okay. And the way we are doing high school missions, over the last 1 month, I've spoken to over 50,000 students. And the saddest thing, it's the struggles. The struggles are the same in most of the schools. The struggles, the challenges, they're the same. It's early pregnancies. There's a lot of drug abuse, especially weed, and there's alcoholism. Imagine these are high school students. You're looking at a Form 1, they're like, yes, I do drink and I smoke weed. Some schools we're even given like weed after we are done talking, and it's very interesting. And they're like, I'm addicted to this. I don't know how to stop. And kids are going through all sorts of things. And for why we're doing what we're doing, it's because someone needs to stand in the gap. There has to be celebrities who stand for truth and who speak truth to these children. And at the end of it all, we need to understand at the same time, we all come from different communities and different families and different backgrounds. Even for me, I don't come from a perfect family. I've had my struggles and my fair share of, life being unfair. And if I don't start using myself as an example, and for someone like me who's been of the other side, so if I know the wrong which I've done, why should I not help to do the undaming, to do the correct thing and to just align my mistakes and do better? So that is one of the things which has drove me into, doing high school missions and mentorships and going around schools and speaking to students and speaking against drugs, against sex. Because you see, it's all fun and games until it's your child, until it's your cousin, until it's someone who's close to you, until it's that kid for the neighbor, the one who's been influenced and they're doing that, then they come and influence your kid. Because when they're playing, you never know what they're talking about. You don't know the things they're doing. So as people, we need to be more mindful of what we allow and what we call okay. Let us not be making at this smoking and drinking to look as though it's fun and it's the best thing for them to do. We are normalizing the ills of the community. We are normalizing, this talking and, insults and all of these things for fun. Yet we are having a whole generation of youngins who are getting lost, who are struggling in addictions, who are not even focusing, they're dropping out of school. Like, it's very sad, the things we've had to see, on ground and experience. But I think there is hope at the end of it all. That's why for me, I repurposed and promised myself, as long as I'm alive, I'm going to stand in the gap. I'm going to use myself. I'm going to put in energy, put in time, and just use myself, as an example and influence for the right things. I'm not going to normalize drinking and smoking and sex for these youngings as though it's food they eat. I won't stand for that. Because the saddest thing right now, it might be someone's kid, but in future it could be my kid. Then what happens? So for me, that was it was just a whole shift of mindset, when I started questioning the intention. I'm like, it's okay, you want money, this makes quick money. But at the same time, how many kids are getting lost because you're making quick money? My wrong decisions are affecting someone else. So I had to stop being selfish and to start loving. Even the Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So you treat others the way you want to be treated. And if you say you claim you love God, God is love. So you can't destroy other people in the name of, you want to make money. So Kush Tracy Initiative is known for a lot of charitable works I've been doing. Currently, I'm not married and I don't have a child. But the Kush Tracy Initiative has been distributing diapers from Huggies. We're in partnership, so I tend to do a lot of charity work, going into slums, different communities where there is need, and I give the moms, diapers. And the way I was saying, we have teenage mothers. We have mothers who are like at the age of 11. You meet an 11-year-old, and that 11-year-old is actually already a mother, and she's struggling. So we've been doing a lot of charity work, and through the partnerships we have and donations. The missions is a different team we work together with, but still Kush Tracy Initiative comes in because we stand for the same thing. We stand for truth. We stand to restore hope back in society, in our communities, to change the mindset of the youngings and the youths, because at the end of the day, the same war we are fighting, to make sure we save our youths. It's the same war each parent is fighting to make sure their child is not lost in the world. So it's been very interesting. I'm looking forward to, the coming months and in the next year to do more and to do a lot for different communities. So yes, it's been a blessing, and at the same time it's been very, very fulfilling, and at the same time very eye-opening, because once you start interacting with the people who are going through these things, it makes you look at life very differently. So guys, you can find me on social media. Kush Tracy is my personal account. So on Instagram, Kush Tracy, on Facebook, Kush Tracy Kenya, on all social medias, Twitter, TikTok, it's always Kush Tracy. And of course, you can follow us at Kush Tracy Initiative and see what we're doing. We have some contact info over there if you want to help us, if you want to support the mission, because we don't get paid to go to high schools. So it's something we are doing we understand there's a need, and there has to be people step in, and there has to be sacrifice. And I'll tell you this for sure, your purpose is gonna be bigger than you. Your purpose will require you to sacrifice your time, your resources, for you to walk in purpose. So I do hope all of us, we get to find, our purpose and discover our purpose and walk in purpose. And I believe all things are possible with God. Yes.